Okay, so there are these commands in line commands, drag line down, drag line up. There's also drag up line, drag up. Okay, there's a bunch of commands. Was there one of these commands in particular you were interested in?
Either of the first two, drag line
Okay.
up or down.
All right, so let's try just running that command and seeing what happens. It probably will break. Drag line down. Yeah. It recognized the command, but it did nothing. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to watch the Talon log. That didn't work because I'm trying to run a terminal emulator inside Emacs and it's not working very well. Okay, so let's just visit the Talon log, talon.log. It's enormous, which is fine. Go bottom. North, south. Oh, right. North. Right, okay, so that's just a snapshot of the log. Let's search backward in it for drag line. Here we go. So this is where in my REPL, where in the log it saw me doing drag line down. And it decoded it, and then I got an error. Failed to type check script. Right, not implemented error. So this is telling me that the action edit.line_swap_down has not been implemented, right? And so what's going on here is edit.line_swap_down is an action, right? Which is a way for Talon to sort of say, you know, I don't really know how I should do this. I'm going to let the user tell me how to do this, right? In different contexts. So let's try implementing this action.
Do we have a default impl for that?
Do we have a default? Apparently we don't.
I don't think we do, but it seems like that could be implemented using primitives which are available pretty much everywhere.
So honestly, that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and give a default implementation for this, right? So let's go try to implement edit.line_swap_down.
So would it not be better to implement it where it's defined, or is there a reason to implement the generic version?
Oh, good point. We can actually probably do this entirely from a Talon file, never mind from a Python file. So yeah, suplex 1, push action block, word edit dot snake line swap down, scratch snake line swap down, push, break second, Talon sleep. Okay, so I need a command that's going to cut the current line and give me its contents as I think I know why it's annoying to implement this in Talon, because we sort of want to do this without affecting the current contents of the clipboard. But what we could roughly do is something like select line. So I think there is an edit.selectLine action. Edit.cut. And then we want to go down. So I forget what it's called. I'm just going to write key down. And then edit.paste. Let's see whether that works. So that should select the current line, cut it, move down, and then paste it. Let's see whether that works.
I'm expecting you're missing a new line.
Drag line down. So yes, it doesn't look like that did exactly what I wanted.
decision is correct, right?
Right. I think it selected the line, not including the new line. So
I think there should be a cut line command because like certain editors, like Vim, for instance, has like a whole line mode and stuff, right? So you'd probably want to override cut line in that world. So I wonder if
yeah.
there's like
So
I think if you go to the end of the line now and then paste it, then it will work.
You have a cut line, but you have to specify the line number.
yeah, but that's not going to work for us. For one thing, yeah, we don't know the line number. We just want to do the current line. So I think this will actually work. Although it's, maybe not generic enough. But what this will do is go to the beginning of the line using home. It will then select to the end of the line by typing shift end. Whoops, that was not the right thing. I don't know how to hit the end key on my keyboard. But anyway, let's try this. Home, shift end, shift right. Cut that. South, paste that. Undo. South second. Drag line down.
boom.
Undo. So that is unimplementation, not necessarily the best implementation, but unimplementation of line swap down. And you can see that once I implemented the drag line down command started working.
And that that line 59 potentially we could turn into line 59 we could turn into an action, which is like cut line, right?
Yeah.
Theory, if we wanted to make it more.
Yeah, like you might want an action. This is basically a select whole line action. It selects the whole line, including the new line. Right. At some point, there was a discussion about what select line and delete line ought to do, and Aegis weighed in, and I don't remember what it was, but this is sort of a simple example of implementing a small Talon action. And this is why drag line down and drag line up weren't working, right? They didn't have default implementations. All right, so does the person who originally had this question, does this answer your question, or do you have further questions?
Yeah, thank you. For my implementation of it, I was envisioning more using it as a mouse drag. So where it will select the following lines or the subsequent lines. But yeah, this tells me why it wasn't working. And it looks like it's just a matter of implementing that custom command the way I want it.
Yeah. I mean, if what you want is selecting down, one thing that might be interesting to you is, I think it's just select down. Let me try that. Select down. Second. Select down. Cut that. Undo. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the command you were looking for.
Amazing. Yes, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Somehow I missed that. That one is super key for me. Thank you.
Yep.
Why did you implement that as an action as opposed to just the commands under the, not even sure what the phrase is, but for example, you have indent that, and then it's edit.indent more, and then you implemented the action edit.indent more, whereas right below that you have indent line, and then it's just the commands to like indent the line. Why did you implement it as an action?
So I didn't write this file, but the sort of general idea is that actions should be things that it is sensible and useful to override in different contexts, right? So there are various actions that come with Talon. So if we look at, I have a file here listing all of the actions that are available in Talon. There are a lot of them. If we just look at the ones called edit.whatever, we might get a flavor of some of these things, right? So there's an action called edit.copy. right? And the reason why we have an action edit.copy instead of just calling Control C all over the place, the reason why we do things like, whoops, why is this? Oh,
Yeah. So
Can you share this file?
But if you go back one file, and then
Mhm.
my question then becomes why isn't everything in action? Like why is cut line number or paste line number there? Not so indent that is an action,
mhm.
but indent line is not.
Yeah. I mean, this is not a question that has like a single perfect answer, right? I think it's just sort of you could make actions for every single voice command you want in the hope that eventually you'll find good override. You'll find a context where you want to override that specific action. But, basically, you make an action if you want to override it in different contexts. And
Okay.
until you have that reason to do it, why bother is what I would say.
Okay.